This is either the worst or the best decision of my life. I'm gonna stop work for 1 whole year to see if I can make YouTube and social media pay my bills. You might be wondering, who's this idiot and why do I care? Well, my name is Santiago. Online I go by Weirdly. I'm a 24-year-old Ecuadorian electronic engineer and digital animator. Here we go. Which basically means I'm good at math and I'm good at drawing. It's been a lifelong journey for me to discover what I really like and what drives me, and that's making stuff. And that's the very narrow space in which both of my degrees met, but eventually I realized that the one thing I want to do is animation. I've been working on the Latin American industry for quite some time now. It's usually a project-to-project base, and if I had to say 2 good things about the industry, I'd say this. Probably one good thing I've found is that I've made great friends with other artists. But if I had to say 2 bad things about it, I'd say that payment is really not fair. And also that the people that manage projects are usually not very qualified for those positions. For those of you who've been here for some time, remember that original animated show I was developing? Well, on June of this year I applied for some government funding here in Ecuador, and I'm really glad to tell you that I didn't win. And I mean it, I'm glad. Because if I had won, there was a very high chance I would have become a part of this problem. I'm simply not prepared to handle a group of dozens or hundreds of different artists on a big project. And I'm gonna use this year to change that. First of all, I want to become a better artist in every aspect of the animation pipeline for 2D animated shows. And second, I want to make the channel a sustainable source of income. The first one I'm 100% sure I can and will do, but the second one, not so much, because it doesn't depend solely on me. If it works, and if it doesn't, I'll just go back to the Latin American industry slightly better prepared. And believe me, I get it, I don't need all this experience in the whole pipeline to be a better artist and to get hired. But if I want to get to those positions of being a director or a producer, I found that it really helps, and it's also very rare to find that the artist in these positions has had some hands-on experience on all the elements of the pipeline. And you might also be wondering, why the emphasis on the Latin American industry? Why am I not aiming at the big leagues? And the problem is one of numbers. Here I'm only competing against Latin American artists, but out there I will be competing against every single artist in the world, including those who are half my age and have drawn for twice as long as I have. And what about networking, you might be wondering? Well, I'm glad you asked. Amongst my Instagram followers are this production design legend. I literally watched The Croods last Monday. Character designer for Kim Possible and Danny Phantom, and former Disney recruiter. Also, I think he's the reason I have a thing for redheads. The character art director and designer at Spaz Studios, the studio that made this little film called Klaus. The character designer for Skydance Animation, who made the characters for a film I recommended to my crush and she didn't like the film. We haven't spoken since. The associate creative director of Claynosaurs. By the way, he's Ecuadorian and he's animated on some of the biggest live action integrating CG characters films. You probably watched some of his work, he's great. The assistant director of Robot Dreams, an effects animator that's worked for Netflix, Nike, Disney, Supercell, you name it. So the connections are there, but I don't think any of them have ever even liked one of my posts. My point is, it's a very competitive industry. So what's the actual plan to improve as an artist while also trying to make this whole YouTube and social media thing work? Every single day I'm watching a film. All the movies of a particular week will be linked by a theme that you can vote on here on my YouTube. From each of these films, I will take 1 hour to study a single frame of the movie that I think represents the essence of the whole film, and I'm gonna make a time-lapse video out of that I'll be uploading both to YouTube Shorts and to TikTok, including a sort of a review of mine for the film. Once a week ends, I will post all of those illustrations in the form of sort of trading cards to my Instagram, and here's where my favorite part comes. All this movie watching is gonna spark ideas in me to come up with a week-long project. For example, this week's theme was nature, and I noticed both in the Croods and in Noshk of the Valley of the Wind that there were some hybrid animals roaming around. So I want to animate one of my own. And here's where you come in. By the time this video is released, I'll be releasing a poll with these 4 options here. I don't know what they are, I haven't done the sketches for them yet, but you probably already have a favorite one. If you want, you can go vote right now for which one of this is your favorite so I can turn it into an animation. That poll will be up for a whole week, and then when the next week starts, I'll start working on that project, both live streaming on Twitch and on YouTube. I will only be live from Monday to Friday so that I can use the weekend to turn all the footage of those streams into a video that shows the process and the ideas I had and how I came up with the final animated project. If you arrived early to that video, which means within the first 48 hours of it being live, you will get a free access to download every single file I used for it. If you arrive later than that, there will be another alternatives to download those files, but that's gonna cost you a little bit. Every 4 weeks, which is the equivalent of a month, sort of, we're gonna be alternating from 1-week themes and projects to 2-week themes and projects, which is gonna make them more complex, more elaborate. Some of them might even include original music, if not all of them, if I get the time. But the idea is to always be inspired and creating new stuff. Do you think it will work? Do you think I will burn myself out? Let me know down in the comments. And if you really want to support me, sharing goes really a long way. Like, the best way you can support anyone you care about here on social media is by sharing their stuff, especially if it is to someone you think is gonna get value and enjoy watching what you're sending them. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Weirdy. See you next time.